So now on to group work and team presentations. So the reason you'll be tested and put in these situations is you'll be doing this, whether you realise it or not, the whole way through your career. You'll be working with teams internally, whether it's different departments of a law firm or different divisions of a bank. You'll be working within a firm's international network of offices, so colleagues in different countries, and trying to work out different time zones and whatever it may be to make sure that the group can work effectively. And collaborating with external parties, lawyers, accountants, consultants, banks, PR agencies, environmental agencies, regulators, all work together on certain transactions. You need to be able to really work well in a team. The types of exercises you might be able to do on internships, and hopefully you guys can talk about some of your experiences in interviews and internships. It could be some kind of creative task, building a tower, or just something designed to show the firm how you interact. It could be a team-based presentation in a pitch, maybe 2 of you, maybe 5 of you. It could be on a department in the firm or a particular client. There might be team-based reports or written exercises. And I know certainly in the context of law firms, staged negotiations is something that come up quite a lot. So certain things you can do to show you're a good team player is really make an effort to include everyone. And some people might be quieter than others, and asking them what their opinion is on something, or if they, what they have to add. That can show that you're quite inclusive. Never be overbearing. If you're the person that just talks over everyone, discounts everyone's ideas, you're going to really negatively impact the team dynamic. And graduate recruiters are incredibly perceptive. It's their job to be. And if they see you doing that, they'll pick up on it quite quickly, and they'll think maybe this person won't have the best effect on the team if we hire them and integrate them into the firm. Listening to encourage others, be receptive of ideas, really listen carefully to what each person's saying. So if you can draw upon an idea from X, a suggestion from Y, and Z's idea with your own personal touch, and say, all of these combined could come up with a good solution. It's a great way of showing that you can positively contribute to not just the work you're doing as a team, but the team dynamic in general. Obviously, show up to meetings on time. Make sure you really concentrate during the meetings. Don't just be messing around on your phone, because, again, that will not create the best dynamic in the team. And prepare as well. Make sure you're ready to contribute personally as well. After presentations, you'll get asked questions as a team quite a lot, and sometimes they might ask you a question that your colleague has researched or something to do with your colleague's presentation, just to test whether you've actually worked together. So know each other's research and presentations inside out. And I know Neil and myself were in the same team on one particular project. We did all of the work together, and then just at the very end decided who would talk about what. So both of us would have been equally comfortable about answering questions on each other's presentations. Also referring to each other can show good teamwork. If you're interrupted in the middle of what you're saying and the question refers to something your team member is considering, you can always say, well, I'm happy to answer this now if you like, but this is going to be covered by my colleague a bit later on. Obviously, if they ask you to answer now, do it. But again, it just shows good teamwork and awareness of the others. Finally, just a little trick, handouts and booklets can help to make you stand out. If you have some kind of physical presentation that goes along with your presentation, that can be great. Maybe give it out at the end so that you aren't distracting the person, they're still watching you, but it's something to think about. And if you've managed as a team to put together a coherent, consistent looking document, it again shows your ability.
Yeah, but as Jake mentioned, he and I were lucky enough to be on the same team for a group presentation we did during an internship, and I think most people on the scheme and that we asked around the firm agreed that it was quite a complex topic. So the areas that firms will give you to go away and present group presentations on aren't going to be the easiest. The whole point is to challenge you, not only to see how you can manage your time on the rest of the internship by balancing the work that your supervisors set you, but also how you balance the work that they've set you in that creative capacity. So building on what we've said earlier in this presentation, it's really crucial to be enthusiastic, to conduct yourself professionally, and go and ask people who can give you the best advice. So during our presentation, like Jake said, we worked together largely as a group, and then we kind of split into kind of pairs where we could go away and break down the more complex areas and work together to come up with a good presentation. So coming across as professional, organised, and as a team on the day of the presentation really helped make it look like that we hadn't pulled it together at the last minute, that we had dedicated enough time to it, and we'd gone away and properly done our research, and luckily that paid off.
I think building on what Neil said about balancing the work your supervisor's given you and group work, is that sometimes some firms won't expect you to be doing group work within office hours. And some of those are absolutely fine. Just make sure you ask your supervisor if you've got no other work on. Often they'll be more than happy to let you do it. But don't ever prioritise that over the work your supervisor's given you, because you can always do that when you get home. Another thing is, keep to your time. If you're doing team presentations, then make sure you allocate each person a roughly sort of equal amount of time. Otherwise it might look, again, you're coming across as overbearing. And also, if everyone's overrunning and you do a 20-minute presentation sort of 15 minutes, it shows you haven't really worked together and worked out the timings between you.
I don't think I have much to add in terms of group presentation and stuff, because it's been quite well covered. But in terms of group dynamics, it's very important to know that, especially in the investment bank, you're being hired onto a specific team, and that team or that desk will not hire you if you just don't get along with them. It doesn't matter if you're the most intelligent person or if you're the most hardworking person. They have to like you, because they're sitting with them for 12 hours, at a pop. It's not easy to get along with someone for 12 hours you don't like them. So make sure you're well liked by your team. And if you feel like you can't really fit into the team dynamics of the desk that you were assigned to, then maybe it's a good time to think about networking outside of a desk, to find other places or other people that you can talk to, and perhaps find your way into another desk from there. So it's very important to be well liked by a team, and it's very important to gel along with them. So try your best to do that.
Yeah, so I think most things have been covered, but just one piece of advice I was given I found really useful is that when you answer questions after a presentation as a team, if one team member answers it and then someone else wants to add something, make sure if you want to add something that is completely new, because otherwise it just appears that you want to show off, oh, I know the answer too. So just be careful that everything you say should add some form of value to the overall team presentation.
I'd just like to quickly say I apologise for where it says on the bottom right, get involved as much as you can. That isn't relevant to this slide.